He was born in the shadow of swords and drums. His first cradle was a military camp, his first toy, a pair of tiny leather boots made by Roman soldiers. His name was Gaius Julius Caesar Germanicus, but the Roman Empire would forever remember him by another name, Caligula, Little Boot. He did not go down in history as a great general, a builder of temples, or a conqueror of lands. He became the very embodiment of madness cloaked in imperial purple. His reign lasted only 4 years. But those years drenched Rome in fear, in blood, and in the laughter of a madman seated on a god's throne. His childhood was written like a Greek tragedy. His father, Germanicus, a hero to the army, beloved by the people. His mother, Agrippina the Elder, a descendant of Augustus. From birth, Caligula was destined for greatness. Raised among soldiers, he marched in military parades, took part in rituals, and listened to the whispers of politics and war. But the higher the sun rises, the longer the shadow it casts. One by one, everything collapsed. Germanicus died suddenly. By illness, poison, or murder. Rumors pointed to the emperor, Tiberius himself. His mother and brothers were exiled, imprisoned, starved. Caligula survived, the last of his line. But survival came at a cost, his peace of mind. The young Caligula was taken to the island of Capri to live under the watchful eye of the aging emperor Tiberius. By then, Tiberius had turned Capri into a realm of shadows, a place of magicians, torture, perversions, and secret executions. Caligula learned the most important lesson: to stay silent, to obey, to adapt. Outwardly, he was calm, respectful, a model citizen, but within, a storm was building. He watched how power flowed. He understood how easily gods are born from blood. And when Tiberius died, by natural causes or perhaps not, Caligula ascended the throne. 24 years old, young, handsome, adored by the masses. Rome celebrated like never before. The grandson of Augustus, the son of Germanicus. The people believed he will bring peace, he will bring justice, he will restore glory. And at first he did. Caligula freed political prisoners, reduced taxes, gave generous gifts to the people and bonuses to the army. The Senate praised him. The crowd worshipped him. And then, something changed. In the autumn of the year 37, Caligula fell ill. Some say poison. Others, a fever, a curse, or a divine punishment. He hovered between life and death for weeks. When he recovered, he was no longer the same man. He began to believe, or pretended to believe, that he was a living god. He dressed as Jupiter, the king of gods, and appeared in temples wearing thunderbolts. He ordered a bridge to be built between his palace and the temple of Jupiter, so he could walk among the heavens. He erected a colossal statue of himself in the temple, replacing the image of Jupiter, and had it dressed each day in the clothes he wore. Senators, generals, and ambassadors were forced to bow before him and kiss his feet. His sister Drusilla was his closest companion. Rumors swirled that their bond went beyond sibling love. When Drusilla died, Caligula was devastated. He declared her a goddess, ordered public mourning, and built temples in her name. And from that point forward, his actions spiraled into chaos. Caligula held lavish banquets, during which no guest knew if they would leave with gold or lose their head. He turned executions into theater. He laughed as nobles were beheaded. He gambled with the lives of senators. He began wasting enormous sums on vanity, covering halls with gold leaf, building floating palaces, and feeding his dogs meat soaked in wine. But no act better captures his madness than the day he declared war on the sea. Yes, the sea. He marched his legions to the shores of the Atlantic, stood in full armor, and ordered his soldiers to attack the ocean. They stabbed at the waves, hurled spears into the surf, smashed shields in rhythm, as if battling Poseidon himself. When it was over, Caligula declared victory. The soldiers gathered seashells as trophies, and he returned to Rome, triumphant. Then came Incitatus, his horse. Caligula adored him. The horse lived in a marble stable, slept under silk, and wore a necklace of gemstones. And then, one morning, Caligula announced that Incitatus would be made a senator. Some say it was a joke, others, a deliberate mockery of the Senate's power. But by now, no one was laughing. He descended deeper into paranoia. He executed men on a whim. He forced wealthy Romans to name him in their wills or face charges of treason. He banned laughter in Rome. He moved the palace regularly, changed guards daily, and slept with a dagger under his pillow. He trusted no one, not even the gods. The people who once adored him now feared him. The Senate, humiliated and powerless, silently longed for his downfall. And in the barracks of the Praetorian Guard, a plan was taking shape. On January 24th, 41 AD, Caligula walked through a corridor in his palace. A group of guards surrounded him. Suddenly, one drew a blade and struck. Another followed. Then another. The man who had called himself a god collapsed in a pool of blood. No prayers, no final words. Just silence. His body was dumped in a shallow grave. His name was erased from inscriptions. His statues destroyed. Rome tried to forget him, but history never forgets those who show it the face of madness. Caligula was not just a tyrant. He was not merely a madman. He was a mirror, one in which the empire saw its darkest reflection. What happens when power knows no limits? When fear replaces loyalty? Caligula's reign is a warning, a reminder that even the greatest empires can fall, not from enemies, but from the monsters they crown as gods.